Hi, my name is Becky Richards and I'm the school nurse here at Conner High School. This is the medication administration training video. It will be a two-part video. This is part one. There's a second video that you will need to watch. It covers rescue inhalers. It covers glucagon, EpiPens, Diastat, and clonazepam. Make sure that you watch both videos. This is part one. And the second video is good to go over just prior to taking a field trip, anything like that, if you just need to refresh your memory on any of those things. The first thing we're going to talk about is paperwork. Documentation is very important. Whenever there's a medication in Boone County schools, there is a medication consent form. It looks the same for every school, and every medication that we would have would be put on this form. The parent fills it out, they put the medication on here, if it's over the counter, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Advil, anything like that, and then the parent would sign it here at the bottom. They bring it to us, they have to have it in the original container, and it cannot be expired. The next thing they may do is if there is a medication that is taken more than what the label says on the bottle, such as ibuprofen, maybe they want them to take 3 instead of 2. The parent fills out the form, they sign it, but a doctor has to sign it as well because it's more than what the label says. The last thing would be a prescription medicine, and mostly what we see is ADHD medications. That's the kind of medications that we would have that are prescription. Once we get these forms in, we transfer everything onto a medication administration record, or a MAR, or an MAR. Everything that's on this consent form is on this MAR. So when you go on a field trip, you will get this MAR. It is a legal document. That's where you document the date and time that you give the medicine. Everything is on here. We'll have a picture of the student, we'll have the name, the date of birth, and how the medication is taken. When you give the medication, you document that. When you come back to school, you bring that back to us along with the pill bottle. So when you go on a field trip, what you should do is you send us a list of every student that you have that's going to go on that field trip, and we will check it. If they are on a medication such as ADHD medicine, what we'll do is we'll contact the parent, ask them to send in another pill bottle with just that dose in it. But if they don't, what we have to do is send you what we have. The parents are allowed to send in a week's worth of medication at a time, so we could have 5 pills at a time, typically on Mondays when they bring the week's worth in. If you have a field trip on Monday and the parent has not sent in that second bottle, then I have to send you the whole thing. I can't repackage it. So you will have the medication administration record, or the MAR, and you'll have the pill bottle. Hopefully the one the parent has sent in, but if not, you'll have the one that we have here. We always ask that the parents or the doctor put lunchtime on the consent forms, because if you are going on a field trip, you may not eat lunch until 12:30, and the student may eat lunch at 10:45 when they're here in school. The other thing is, after we come back from Christmas break, all the lunch times are different anyway. So if they put lunchtime on here, it gives you a little more leeway. If they put a specific time, like 11 a.m., you have a half hour before and a half hour after to give that medication. So you would have from 10:30 to 11:30 to give that medicine. So if you are on your field trip and it is lunchtime and the student has come to you and said, I need my medication, or you've had to go find that student, you just verify with them. Ask them what is their name, and they'll tell you. Ask them their date of birth, verify that, and you can also verify with a picture. You have to have 2 patient identifiers in the state of Kentucky. This gives you 3 because the picture is just a third one. You would never say, are you Susie Smith? You would say, what is your name? So everything's verified and you're ready to give the medicine. You look at the pill bottle, make sure that it matches, and it is the student, Susie Smith. So you open it up, you get the pill into the lid, have them hold out their hand and drop the pill into their hand. Just don't handle their medication. They'll take their pill, they should drink 4 to 6 ounces of water, and you should check their mouth and make sure that they're not pocketing the pill anywhere. Before you give the medication, you're going to review the 6 rights of medication. It's the right student, right medication, right dosage, right route, right time, and right documentation. This is your documentation. When you give the medication, document it on here and make sure you return this to the first aid room because it is a legal document. Liquid medications, everything's the same. The difference would be you take the medication, you turn the label towards the palm of your hand, you open it, and you pour it into the cup on a level surface, and you get down at eye level and pour it. You measure at the meniscus and not the sides on the liquid medication. They should, again, drink 4 to 6 ounces of water after they take the medication, and you document it on the MAR. Topical ointments. We have a couple first aid kits in our first aid room that if you go on a field trip, you are more than welcome to take. If you have a student that falls, maybe gets a scrape or a cut while you're on a field trip, have them wash their hands with soap and water at least for 20 seconds. Then you will put gloves on, and with a gloved hand, you put the medication onto wherever their injury is. If you don't have any type of like a cotton-tipped applicator or anything like that, make sure you have gloves on anytime you use ointments or creams.